Hello everyone, it's Shel from Paper Rock TO Studio, and today is day 21 of hashtag Art Journal Habit 2017, a daily art journaling challenge with prompts from Art Joy of Sharing Facebook group. Still not too late to join in, and these prompts will always be available if you would like to use them for your art journaling adventures. Today's prompt was hidden, and I had this idea that I was going to make this illustration that showed how so many things in our world are hidden from us, like where animals hide, and maybe there's like some unusual creatures that we've never seen, like mermaids or Bigfoot or something that could be hidden, and things are under the water, we can't see them. Things are under the ground, we can't see them. We know they're there, maybe like worms and things, but we don't see them. And that was my idea. That was what I was going to do. I had just returned from a weekend and Monday trip to go to a charity event for CHLA therapy dogs, a charity started by a friend of ours who lost her battle with cancer, and she was very adamant with her parents that they should have a charity to support therapy dogs because that really helped her while she was ill in the hospital at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. So their big event was this weekend. So we went over there. We went to the Tea for Titania and had a great time, but I'm tired. And it just, trying to do something when you're tired is just, it's difficult. And I was trying to draw this illustration, and I realized that this was going to take me so long, and it was going to be so work intensive, and I just wasn't feeling it. My drawing wasn't very good, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I decided to just go with my intuition and just do something else. So the first part of hidden in this case, in this art journal page, is that I collaged over everything. So the original idea and illustration that I was doing is completely hidden because I had some different papers that were just laying next to me on the desk, some pattern, like from Patterns for Sewing, and half a sheet of dictionary paper from something I did before I left, and just a few little bits and bobs. There was a piece laying on the ground underneath my feet, and I just decided to collage over my illustration and do something that is a lot more in your head instead of literal. My original idea was very literal, of showing things that are hidden and that we don't think about but that are there. But there is a whole nother realm of ideas that are hidden as well. What people think and don't tell you, and what artists think when they're creating and they don't tell you. Ideas, information, what the government doesn't tell you. The prompt hidden has so many potential layers of meaning. It is a really good prompt, if I do say so myself. I don't know which of us picked it, Peg or I, but it is, when you really start going and diving down deep into the concept, it's a really great prompt. So like I said, I hid my illustration by covering it up with collage. When I'm not feeling something, when I just want to play, and mess around with color and shape and pattern, my first go-to is always collage. I absolutely love it, and that's the reason that I'm a mixed media artist, I think, because so much of mixed media techniques have to do with making layer on top of layer, creating pattern and visual interest based on shapes that are created in multiple layers, which is also kind of really goes along with the prompt hidden, because people kind of freak out when they first start thinking about mixed media, where you do something and then there's a good chance it's going to get covered up. And I absolutely love that about mixed media. um, I think that it creates mystery and all those layers and the things that you can kind of see, but you can't really see, but you sort of see, and you can look at a mixed media piece if it's done well. I mean, just because you're putting layer on top of layer on top of layer does not mean that there's not thought involved in it. There is. It is an artistic process of intuition and using what you see with your eyes and what your brain perceives that you might not see to create something that appeals to you as a human, that has meaning to you. It may not have meaning to anyone else, but I don't know. I'm really into the idea of intuitive art, of letting your your thoughts go sometimes. I don't always do this. Obviously, some of my stuff is very, very specific, literal illustration. I'm drawing a specific thing to give an idea, and there's nothing hidden or esoteric or intuitive about it. But the other side of me, the side that really enjoys freedom and expression, really likes to do this. And that's what I wanted to do today, was to talk about hidden in the way that people's ideas and thoughts and emotions and feelings can be hidden inside a piece of art. So, as far as technique wise, I did the collage and then I decided to pick some colors that were interesting to me today. I'm still kind of attracted to that olive and teal combination, and I threw in some orange today to go with it. I don't know why that color combination is interesting me. It just is. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing it a lot in uh, commercials and things like that. It might be a popular color combination right now. They come and go. They're colors are very trendy, and it's somebody's job to decide what the colors are going to be for the season. And I guess graphic arts people and people who make commercials and advertisements take those color ideas into hand and use them for the year, because I see the same color combinations come through for an entire season or entire year. If you pay attention to that, you will see it. Like, they call them trends, right? Well, I think somebody just decides that it's a trend that day. I don't know whose job that is, but I wished it was my job, because that would be really fun. Can you imagine your job being the one who picks the colors for the year? That's awesome. That would be so fun. But for some reason, which I'm not going to think too much about, I really like this teal and olive combination. And then I think the orange looks good with it. So I stenciled some teal color, and were all Dylusions paints. Dylusions paints are bright, and I felt like using intense bright colors. So then, yeah, I did some stenciling of circles, and circles to me represent thoughts that bubble to the surface, kind of, or the encompassing of an idea, or the idea of something enclosed, encapsulated. Yeah, I know I'm being really artsy fartsy today. Sorry, but I do think about this stuff all the time. I just don't maybe try to express it. I don't know if I do. I mean, I know I do try to explain to you guys what I'm doing when I'm doing art, or what I'm thinking about, why I do the certain things I do. I have really, especially in videos, probably in the last year, I've really been trying to explain to people my thought process, because I think that's just as important as the techniques. I mean, techniques are important. Obviously, you got to have techniques. You got to understand the materials that you're working with and how they interact with each other and how they might not interact with each other. Those things are very important, but also the process of thinking about it and the process of not being mindless when you're creating a piece is just as important as technique. So I have been trying to explain my processes lately, and people seem to appreciate that. I get a lot of really good comments, positive comments about that. So I'll continue to do that. Um, I guess it gives you a peek inside my brain a little bit and how chaotic it is in there. And that's apparently interesting. I did not know I was interesting, but I guess I must be. So my next thing I did, and this I'm not overthinking this. This is this is the difference between I made a plan and I executed it and I feel something. I feel I should do this. I feel I should do that. I want this color because that's what I want. I want to do more collage because that's what I want. That's what is making me feel free. That is what's making me feel happy. And so I felt like more collage. Yeah. I wanted some more circles. That scrap of kind of a light teal with some pattern from a jelly print was on the floor. I grabbed it, I cut out the circles, and then I thought, this piece that I cut the circles out of is even more interesting than the circles. I think it's more interesting. So I stuck it on there. And that's kind of the central section of the page is kind of my interest or focal area. Although I have this linear thing going, which really has been something I'm focused on right now. Something I'm interested in is the horizon line and the linear idea. And I think it's in this journal in particular, and I think it's because of the shape of it, because it's long and narrow and it has no vertical height at all. It's just all horizon. So I've been really focused on the horizon line in things inside my head, not necessarily talking about it, but just inside my head. So again, my pattern is going in that direction, and I'm using my little circles to kind of bubble across the page. My thought bubbles are going across the page, my hidden thoughts. So I got out the fine liner bottle. This one has fluid titanium white high quality paint in it. It doesn't have craft paint in it. It's got something that has a lot of pigment so that it really gives an impression when you use it. And I'm highlighting some of the different circles, and some of the circles that I highlight are hidden behind other ones. More of that idea of hidden. This is what I'm thinking about in my head as I'm doing it. Not thinking too hard because I'm also being very intuitive, but I am thinking about the prompt hidden this entire time. I also make some dots, kind of rotational, like this bubble might be turning in this direction or this bubble might be turning in that direction. And then it just came to me for some reason that I wanted to make these diamond shapes. And I said, I want some diamond shapes. And then I said, how do I want the diamond shapes? Do I want them real regular? Do I want to use a stencil or something? No, that's not what I wanted. I just wanted to add some black, and I wanted to do it in diamond shapes because everything else is circular except for I do have some horizontal and vertical direction, a lot of vertical direction and a little bit of horizontal because I added some more tissue paper collage. I don't know if I mentioned that. But then I just wanted black diamonds. I don't know. I wanted that. So I got out my other fine liner, which has fluid carbon black paint in it. Also like a higher quality paint. And then I decided what I needed was some black splatters. I was making some dots with the tip of it, and then I decided I really just wanted more randomness, so I decided to add some splatters. The paint I used for that was very gloppy. I had to mix a lot of water into it, and it was, I should just throw that tube away. It's had its time. It's another one of those tubes of paint that went bad. It went bad. It went evil. So, still looking at this, and I decide, yeah, I really want a heavier horizon line. I want this directionality across the page. I want it to stand out. So I got out a metal ruler and this food brush pen that I've been messing with the last few days. Interesting pen. It's got some ink inside the barrel, and then it's got a synthetic brush. Of course, all the stuff I used will be linked below, so if you want to find this brush, there'll be a link for it. So that was the last thing I did, and I like the way it turned out. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on your notification bell, share if you want to, all those good things. And that is it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.